Okay, hello again, all external students for research materials and methods in the diploma. In fact, sorry, I said all external students. Well, actually, it turns out that we didn't have the numbers for running an internal class on this one. So for the couple of students that were in that internal class, will have to be external. So we'll be running the entire course this semester externally. So essentially, yes, welcome all students for the diploma materials and methods. I'm producing this quick video to provide just a bit of an update for this week. For those of you who have accessed the site on Learn, or the Learn site, sorry, you'd be able to see. I'll just bring it up now. We're at 5001. You'll be seeing this board, which pop up in a minute. And at the base of that, you'll see a link that says Recordings Semester 1 2019. So I've updated that, and I've got the the Semester 1 2019 videos within or the playlist within that link there. I've also put in a link to the video for consultants and authorities. This was a recording from last semester. I chose to put in that last semester one because it's all still current and relevant without anything having changed. The only minor changes are within that recording. I may make some reference to assessments. Those assessments have been updated for this semester. So I can take you through, give you a little bit of background into the new assessments as well, beyond what I spoke about last week. And the other difference will be accessing Australian standards via the library. It's only a very small difference, but I'll take you through that straight away. So the Australian standards are something that you're going to have to access for this subject and for many subjects. It's also, a very, very handy resource for you as well as building designers. So the way we access those Australian standards while we're TAFE SA students is go to the TAFE website and then find this box here, services, drop that down, and you'll come upon libraries. Under the libraries tab, scroll down and you'll see this link here saying library catalogue. Click on that, and you'll be given the option of logging in. So under your library, go to log in. Now that's got my details in there as well already, because I've kept those. Your login will be your student number, which is I think a 9-digit number, plus your birth date. So day, month. Don't worry about the year, so it's four digits, and then go log in. And that will take you to this page. Now the Australian standards, we don't have a link to the Australian standards from this bit, from the My account, so I suggest clicking on going on Home, and then when you go back to the library home, then you have all of these options, and we'll be looking for databases under online resources. So click on the databases, and there you have the link to the Australian standards. From there, it's all exactly the same as it was in previous years. So if you watch the video on consultants and authorities, where I give a bit more of a background about Australian standards in concert with everything else, you'll get that understanding of Australian standards. But this is how you go to access them. So I suggest having a watch of the consultants and authorities video. But beware that the access to the Australian standards has changed, and so have the assessments, which I'll give you a quick overview of right now. So there was the rundown I gave you last week. I've updated things a little bit since then. So if we click on assessments, this summary is the same, giving the due dates, 8th of April, which is the first one, due in about 6 weeks. But what I have changed is I've put some headings in here to break things up a bit and reordered things to make a little bit more sense. So what we are required to do, as it says up here, is we are to write 3 reports. One is a structural report, so a report on structural features. Another is a report on cladding options. And then the third report is on services. For each of these 3 reports, we have to provide our reference research table. So I'll quickly have a look at that reference research table for you. When that opens up. So that reference research table is a repository for information about all of your research sources. So we've got date, document type, title of the document author's name, year created or last updated, which is very handy for websites, etc., which are updated on a fairly regular basis. Books, not so much. So if it's a website, put the URL in here. If it's a book, put in the publisher. And if it's industry information or product literature, you can put in the company name and industry professional contact name. So for each of those 3 report tasks, we've got the option of putting in 10 sources. Now, I'm expecting you'll probably end up having more than 10 sources of information for each report. So just include your major ones. So for some of the ones that you've accessed and found very little information on, probably drop them off the list, but keep all of your major sources in there, and there'll be 10 sources of information for each task. So that's how we go about recording our sources, and that ticks off the necessity for us to be referencing, because it's doing that the bulk of the referencing for us within that. However, in saying that, if you are cutting or using other people's work within your reports, that is okay to an extent. However, you do need to make it clear that is somebody else's writing, that is not your own writing. And also another thing which is very important is that you keep your reports concise. So keep it to statements which simply reflect the information required, and don't just do any bulk cutting and pasting. For bulk cutting and pasting, I certainly won't accept that. We have to keep our reports very concise and to the point. So primarily what you'll be doing is rewriting bits from your research to make it more concise and to the point. Beyond that, so you're going to have to keep your research reference table and keep your reports concise, and we'll be producing those 3 reports: structural, cladding, and services reports, with reference to our 3 projects. So envisage it that we are working for an office, and we have 3 current building projects. One is a detached residence, one is a multi-storey unit, the other is a multi-residential development. So we've got these 3 projects on the go, and we want to write about all of these 3 projects in each of these reports. So the first one, we're writing about the structural options for these projects. The next one, we're writing about cladding options for these 3 projects, etc. Now, to help you narrow down exactly what you'll be writing, I've provided you here with 2 documents that guide exactly what needs to be researched and written about. So within our assignment literature, research task 1, it sets out what structural options you need to look at for each project. So we're not looking at the entire structure for each project, we're just looking at some structural elements for each project. So that's open there. Read through this by all means, but the crux of what we'll be looking at is included here. So the task you're to carry out as the researcher is to analyse different structural options for 3 current design projects given to you. For each project, you are given the following parameters to research. For project 1, which is the detached residence, we're looking at concrete slab on ground and suspended timber framing. Now that suspended timber framing is to be on adjustable piers and concrete footings. So these are two major flooring options, or flooring structural options. One is the slab on the ground, the other one is a suspended floor, typically more associated with undulating sites. For project 2, for our structural option, we have to look at wall framing options for light gauge steel framing and timber framing. For project 3, we have to look at roof framing options, so timber truss roof and conventionally pitched roof. If neither of those make sense to you at this point, don't despair. We've got 6 weeks until this first report is due, and we'll be covering all this in quite a bit of detail in the meantime. So, but I do suggest you go into the reports and have a look and see what questions you can answer, see what you do know at this point in time. So this sets out each of those options that we have to do our research on, and to help guide your answers to all that and to guide your research, I've provided an Office template for the report for each. And so on this Office template for the report, I've included things such as an executive summary, so you fill out the executive summary, so statement of project briefs and aspects researched, etc. So just provide a summary of what somebody can expect in the report. But then this is the meat of it. So here we've got project 1 structure, and then under that project 2 wall structure, etc. Project 3 roof structure, just as explained earlier on. And I've got subheadings here, option 1 and option 2. So option 1 is going to be slab, option 2 is going to be suspended. Then under that, some subheadings directing you to exactly what needs to be researched. So things such as sustainability considerations, fire resistance properties, insulation process considerations, etc. So pour through this. Some of these things you may be able to answer sufficiently as it is with your current knowledge. Others you will have to do more in-depth research about. Also, beware of this one, the manufacturer's installation details and considerations. What I'm asking for here for you to find some pictures about installation details for these technologies. So possibly a good one for a slab on ground would be a drawn cross section through a slab showing the reinforcing details, etc. So let this be your guide as to what you need to research and report on for that. So I suggest that's the good amount of work for this week. The things to do are access the Australian standards and listen to the video on consultants and authorities. That will also give you the background to the National Construction Code. Once you've done that, access the National Construction Code. Following that, then have a look at Project 1. Research Task 1. So read through Research Task 1 and then open up the Office report template. Have a look to see what questions you can answer at this point in time, and then start your research on those things whilst filling out the research table, and look out for further videos getting into more of the building technology from here on. So thank you and good luck and best success for this week. I'll be in touch shortly. Thank you. Bye.